Yeah, feel free, find your seats. Well, first off, thank you so much for being here. This is so cool, just so awesome. It's like a dream come true to be able to do this with so many of my friends here and a lot of other cool people who are in the Upper Valley. Before we get started, we have to say thank you to the people at Junction Arts and Media Jam. A couple quick words about the organization. This weekend's White River Independent Film Festival. Would love to introduce none other than the Executive Director of JAM, Samantha Davidson Green.
Welcome everybody. I'm so happy to see all of you here. This is incredible. And thank you to Ali for bringing this extraordinary program. I'm Samantha, and I want to invite you to stick around all weekend long, snowstorm or not. We are kicking off our film festival, our annual White River Indie Film Festival. We have about 12 feature films, global and local. We have panel discussions. We have a party for Valentine's Day. So definitely make sure that you grab a program on your way out and don't let this be your only time to the breaks this weekend. A couple of quick things about housekeeping that I have to say. In case of an emergency, put on your oxygen mask. No, head to the exit the way you came in, or directly behind you. There is another one. Whatever you do, just don't go that way. Bathrooms on this floor. If you go out the way you came in, the second right down the hallway, there are bathrooms that we hope will work for you. And if they don't, then go up the stairs to the third floor, and there's another set up there. Chico, am I forgetting any housekeeping? Don't go that way, yeah. Okay. So I just want to also just let you know, Junction Arts and Media Jam, we are based right here in White River Junction, downstairs between Tucker Box and Cappadocia Cafe. We operate 365 days a year. We do media production all over the Upper Valley, building community through media arts. We're a nonprofit, and we are committed to media education and filmmaking. We are very receptive to collaborations like this. So Ali came to RIF last year. That's how this all happened. He brought a bunch of Tuck friends. He has a background in entertainment, as you're soon to find out if you didn't know already. And he pitched this idea, and we're like, that sounds awesome. So if you have ideas, come to us, let us know. And without further ado, I just want to thank the crew and the caterers who are helping to put this all together, and a whole bunch of sponsors, but Tuck has been a great partner in this, and Vermont Party Barn that's doing the catering. Stick around afterwards. There's a cash bar, and then there are going to be platters of delicious food, so stick around, have some fun afterwards. The snow's not supposed to start till midnight, so we should be good. Have a great time.
Okay, amazing. Thank you, Samantha. And before we get started, just some real great shout outs to people who made this all possible. Cedar O'Dowd, Jordan Fitch, Chico, Eastridge in the back box, Laura DiPiazza, Kate Barber, all from JAM. The Vermont Pottery Barn team, Marcy, and the rest of her team have been incredible. And then from Tuck, Michelle, and Gainath. Gainath is here somewhere. Raise your hand, Gainath.
Hi, guys.
There she is. Woo! We ready to get the show on the road?
Yeah.
Okay, sick. So tell you about myself. My name is Ali. I am a first-generation immigrant. My parents moved to this country. One person is pro-immigrant. That's nice. Do you all work for ICE or something? What's going on? And I think growing up, most immigrants will know that we are so cheap. We are the cheapest people that you'll find. We're so cheap that my mom, when I was growing up, told me that I'm taking you to the zoo, and we ended up at the halal butcher shop. I remember looking up at her and being like, I think we're too late. But it's interesting, like I think about my family and like generationally, like how far we've come. My grandparents were refugees in India after independence, and they took a train, horse, walked on feet to get to the closest cities near them. And then, my parents took a plane halfway across the world to New York City. No language, no understanding of cultural nuance. And then I took the Dartmouth coach to Hanover, New Hampshire. It's equally as hard. It's been cool, like living in the Upper Valley, going to Dartmouth. I've learned a lot of stuff that I don't think I normally would have. I learned a lot about climate change and environment. That's not the joke. It's like, climate change. And environmental activism, which is like insanely cool. You got to save the earth. But I don't think it's working. I don't think the way we're approaching climate change and activism is really doing the trick. I do think what would help is if we gave hurricanes Muslim names. Now, some of you are pulling back, that's okay. Right now, I'm not really afraid of Hurricane Milton. You know, I don't think Hurricane Milton gives me a sense of urgency. But Hurricane Mahmoud, oh God. Pack your bags, today's the day. I am Indian, I'm Muslim, and I went to go visit my family in India over the holidays, and you usually have a stop somewhere in Europe before you can go home. And I stopped in London, and I had like a 20-hour layover or something. So I was like, you know, I'm going to check out London. So I go out, I'm a big museum guy, I really love museums. And so I go to visit the British Museum of Natural History in London, the Natural History Museum, they got there. I walked right in, checked some stuff out, found my grandparents' old furniture. You can just go in and you can just see it's like a little vacation in the thing. I just wrote these guys. Let's see. Oh, I started to post more of my stuff on social media. Trying that out, seeing what happens. I got my first male fan DM the other day. Can I read it to you guys? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I came to the show. You are not funny. You should consider going to medical school. Love, Mom. I didn't know my mom had an Instagram. You all follow her? Back in Atlanta, I'm originally from Atlanta, and one of my best friends in the whole world is an electrician. His name is Naz, and whenever I go home from time to time, I'll stop by his place and say hello. So the last time I was home, I stopped by Naz's house, walked right in, and I see this poor guy just sitting on the couch, head in his hands, and I'm so concerned about him. So I walk over there, I put my arm around him, and I'm like, Naz, buddy, what's going on? And he said, Ali, today I connected 2 of the wrong wires. And in that moment, when I was getting electrocuted for that half a second, I saw my entire life flash before my very eyes. I was like, wow. But have you ever been in a meeting that could have been an email? Just as bad, if not worse. I'm not a very smart person. I think I realized this about myself. I'm not that bright. Like the other day, we went bowling, and I had no service. And I was like, oh wait, I know how to fix this. I'll just turn my personal hotspot on. Okay, cool, that was for you, actually. That was just for you. I wrote that like last night. That's awesome. And then cool, we just got one more. I heard Disney World, did anybody else hear about this? Disney World said that they're opening a strip club right in the center of their theme park. Sure. And it's going to be called A Whole Nude World. I didn't write that part. Which I thought was really good. They said they're having trouble selling their Lightning Pass. I checked in, and apparently I figured out why. It's called premature ejaculation. Oh my God, the college kids love that one. What else? What else do I have? What else? They like it. Let's see if I have good friends. Are we ready to get the real comedians out here? Next up. He's very funny. He just recorded his first stand-up special in November. Please give a warm Upper Valley welcome to my friend and soon to be yours, the very funny Rufat Agayev.
Give it up for the host. Thank you. What's this do? Can I put this over here? I'm gonna put that over there, and I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna, stagehand this like that. I need room to work. How's everybody doing, man?
All right.
Everybody's doing good? That's great. They say comedy will take you places, and now I'm in Junction. What a fucking video game ass town. This is definitely like on a Western video game map. I live in New York, and the first thing when I come to a city like this, I'm like, or whatever I don't know what this doesn't count as a city, but this is something, and I think when I come to a place like the location, I'm like, could be easily disruptible. Like I could easily take over this town. Like all I need is a horse and a gun, and not even a good gun. Not just like a racing pistol. You know what I mean? Just like like when they Olympic style. You know what I mean? It just needs to make a noise. I'm not going to shoot anybody. This isn't a manifesto, but I'm just saying that would stir up something in this town, right? That would make you all feel something. That for some of you, that might be like the best day of your life here. Remember when that guy was on a horse with a racing pistol? That was nice. That was nice. That was a good day. You know what, really? Look at my dumbass thinking that you guys don't have any hobbies or, No, of course you do. All people everywhere are interesting. I like everywhere, This is good. This is a good town. I feel like are a lot of you from Dartmouth? Did you attend Dartmouth? Make some noise if you attended Dartmouth. Yeah, that's a lot of you people. This is good because it's like you went to this Ivy League school and now you're being forced to listen to a man who got a 2.3 in sociology. Like, this is good because you live in a town where you get in your car, you just go home, you know what I mean? You're not living in New York where, in New York, people just have to listen to a crazy man talk on the train. This is your version of that today. This is a crazy, this isn't a comedy show for you. This is an experience of the big city. I'm here to tell you, when the apocalypse is gonna happen. I'm here to fuck with you, really, is what I'm here to do. Because a 2 you go to Dartmouth? I went to Florida State, 2.3 GPA I graduated in sociology. It took me 5 years. 5 years to graduate in a major that was for football players. And not fast football players, defensive and offensive linemen took that major because their parts are regular size, but their bodies are big so they don't have any thoughts. So to them, the major made sense. They were like, well, I push, and I socialize. And now you gotta listen to me for 20 minutes. I'm not a lecturer. I'm not, accredited in anything. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Damn. This is good. I like when I go to a city, right? I like when I go to a New Haven where Yale is, right? I like going to somewhere close to an Ivy League and you feel the young world rulers being at the power emanating from that school. Oh yeah, there's a guy right now that's rowing. He's a fucking, just a guy, a young 18-year-old that's rowing, right? And he's like, oh, I'm gonna fucking collapse the housing market one day. Oh, fuck yeah. I'm gonna fucking ruin America for everybody. Yeah. And use small town people get to live next to these devils. You know? There's somebody right now just in a fraternity jerking off in a casket. You know? I like that energy. You know? Because I'm no different than that. Like, I'm, to tell you the truth, a lot of people tell me this, they're like, you know, Rufat, you're just like George W. Bush. I'm a lot like George W. Bush. You know, he was an Ivy League student, but he's the same thing. He graduated with a 2.3 GPA. Did you all know this about George W. Bush? He graduated with a 2.3 GPA, and he majored in art. He majored in art. That's a sociology-ass major. You do not need to go to Yale to major in art. You can do that anywhere. You know? And I used to rap, he was a cheerleader. Same thing. Rapping is just cheerleading, that's it. But the only difference between him and I is he had a successful, you know, oil baron father. My dad paid his mortgage on a credit card. You know what I mean? He had a good father so there was a time where people were like, look, George, you know, he was at Yale, he was like, we know you're doing your art, but like, you gotta be president one day. So go join the Skull and Bones fraternity. Gotta jerk off in the casket. Because one day, you're gonna do 9/11. And really that's the major difference between me and George W. Bush, is he did 9/11, I didn't do 9/11. I like this, you guys laughed at that, you know, it's good. But you guys got me motivated. I like, which is a tough thing to say, right? Nowadays, right? We're living in rough times. The empire is falling. It's done. It's done. There's no reason to even go to school anymore. The American empire is done. You know? And I'm still fucking motivated. Going out, talking to audiences, still, you know, feel motivated. Which, there was a time, do you remember there was a time when we were all motivated? You guys remember when we were sperm? How motivated we were in there? We didn't need any alarm clocks, no Adderall, we were just going, right? We didn't care about who was next to us, just get off me, don't tread on me. Had that tail wagging. You know? Because when we were in that, and when we were in there, I really feel like what we were really doing, if you really think about it, think about this, the Ivy Leaguers, what we were really doing in there, we were storming that egg. We were storming that egg like it was the Capitol. That's the type of energy we had. I feel like that's the way that I got into my mind. You know, just Pelosi, open up. Because when we were sperm, we were all Republicans. Yeah. We were all white. We were all pro-life. Yeah. So I got some of you thinking, you're like, well, this guy's smarter than my professors. I need to start listening. This is how weird cults start. It's like, I was in a Ivy League school, and I heard a guy speak one night, man. Changed my perspective on everything. But I'm not white. I am Caucasian. I will say that I'm Caucasian. I'm from Caucasian. That's a real place, right? That is a real place. I'm from it. Like, there's some people in here, you know what I mean? Like, they, you know, like, there's like, you know, like, because Caucasian is like just white. It's like, sir, you, like, in the khakis, you know what I mean? In the khakis, yeah. You know what I mean? They would think that you're a Caucasian, but you're not a Caucasian. I'm the real fucking thing, you know? I'm built differently than you, you know? You see this side angle of this nose? It's made for mountainous regions. It's made for the Caucasus Mountains. It takes in air and it cuts through wind. And it's like I have a spoiler on my face, you know? Like this stage, this is like what, 8 inches? You know, my face isn't made for a stage. I need to be higher. You know, I need to be on a mountain, just. You tip. You a tip. But me, I'm up there, I'm looking stoic, you know? I'm having thoughts. Yeah, I'm Caucasian. Again, I probably wouldn't even need to explain this to you guys because you guys are, really smart, but Caucasian consists of 3 countries, Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan. I'm so lucky that I got to be Armenian and half Azerbaijani, which those 2 places absolutely hate each other. So, look at God, how much he loves me, huh? He set me up. Yeah. In the early 90s, me and my Armenian mother, we were living in Baku, Azerbaijan, and shit went south real quick, and in American news, they always like to, when things, start going off in other countries, they like to phrase it like, oh, this area is experiencing unrest. Unrest. You guys know what unrest is, right? Like when you're trying to rest, but you need the UN, right? So we fled. Has anybody here fled a war? Anybody? Wow, what a bunch of fucking posers. That's crazy. Because everyone's always so into traveling, right? Oh, I want to travel. I want to see the world. Flee. You like traveling so much. Flee. I hate traveling. I really do. I don't like it at all. But I like actually this, like the small town Junction stuff. I like this stuff. This is the shit that I'm into. Especially living in New York City. I like this shit. I like getting out of the big city. I like a good gas station in a rural town. That's a country store. Oh, I love a country store, right? Because I'm getting more bang for my buck in New York City. I'm getting a coffee, you know what I mean? Like, I'm getting a coffee, $8, 6 ounces. Or no, 8 ounces, $6. I'm sorry. I did the math, I was off a little bit. But man, at a country store, you get at a gas station, you get a big ass coffee. I like a good big ass, 32 ounces. 32 ounces, $1.75. I would have gave him $2. Take these 3/4. And that you ever have a big ass coffee like in a fucking, it sounds different in a cup, and it's got a bass in there, it's hitting the sides, yeah. And in those type of places they don't have oat milk. They don't have oat milk at these gas stations. You know what they got? They got like Reese's Pieces creamer, right? Yeah, right. And it's in a little like a pump, just because it's so thick you can't pour it. They put it in like a body wash shampoo. Yeah, my coffee's clean now. That's their way of like saying like, yeah, you're not in the big city anymore. Here we got real milk from real cows, and we're giving them candy. We're giving these cows candy. You ever think about that? I know you've got farms out here. You ever imagine a cow just sugar high, just on the pasture, just fucking milk me right now. Milk me. That's a female cow that I'm doing an impersonation of. That's not a male cow. That's an udder. Not that. I didn't do that. I would never do that to you lovely people. But that's an udder. Help me. I like a good gas station in a rural town because they have like a great assortment of knockoff chargers, which I love. How good is that? Anybody? Knockoff chargers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, your phone's at 4%. It'll keep it at 4%. I like that. It's like less of a charger. It's more of a neutralize. Don't touch. And I like the assortment because they're like, I like them long, right? They're braided, right? They're different colors. They got LED light strips built within them, you know. Some of them are like, they got belt buckles to keep them wrapped up. Just, and, you know, you can just grab it, just put it in. iPhone does not recognize this accessory. And all of you have done this, like, yeah, you do. You seen that? I'm licking it. Yeah, I know stuff about sex. I'm trying to have a kid. I want a kid. I want to have a kid. I'm older. I know. I don't look it, but I'm 37, man. I want a kid. I want a kid. But I'm not in love, so I can't have one. So. Yeah, you didn't know that? This love is what activates the sperms. No one has ever had a baby with somebody they didn't love. How cute is that, though? That's the way it should be, right? That's how you know God doesn't exist. That's how you know. A perfect design, not really. It's right there. It's the perfect design. No. Which I don't believe in God, but I don't mind if my partner does. That's the thing that I don't care about. I actually prefer a religious woman. I like them. My ex, I was dating a Christian woman in Dallas. That was my ex. I loved her. Loved her. Real Christian too. Like a lot of you like, what's the problem? No, we're Christian. It's like, nah, she was a real Christian. She didn't believe in evolution. That's real Christian. A woman that doesn't believe in Darwin, that shit was sexy. I was attracted to her. It felt like I naturally selected her. I was like, when a woman like lives in Dallas and you live in Brooklyn, and she's like, her values are just different. She saw my life differently than any other woman living in Brooklyn did. She was like, you know, you're in your mid-30s. You're like trying to be famous, doing comedy, but you're doing shows in like places like Junction. It's like, it's not working out, Rufat. What are you doing? Like, you know, you're in your mid-30s. You don't own any property. You're not ready to you're not ready to settle down and procreate. You know, at this point in your life, I thought you would want to do better. And I was so confused. I was like, it sounds like you want me to evolve. Why don't you just accept the way God made me? Broken. That's what I am. I'm like kind of like a knockoff charger of a man. That's what I'm realizing. I won't make you better, but I'll keep you where you're at. I'll date anybody, man. Any religion I'm dating, I don't care. Christian, Muslim, I'll date a Muslim woman. Islam. Was long. There's always gonna be long in every relationship, you know? I remember I saw this beautiful Muslim woman. She was wearing a hijab. More specifically, Nike hijab. Have you guys seen these Nike hijabs? Anybody? Yeah. They're made for athletes. They're like more breathable, so like the prayers can still get in and out. That's crazy. I remember I seen her sitting down. I was very respectful. You know, I walked up to her. I was like, hey, I just wondered if I could take you out for some coffee sometime. And she was like, I'm sorry, but my religion forbids the practice of dating. So I backed up. But then she leaned in. She was like, but Allah aside, still a hard no. Okay. So it's not God. I like doing this, but I do want you all to know, just to temper the show, this isn't a real art form. It's not. It's nice that you guys came out and saw us tonight, but this isn't a respected art form, at least. You know, like, I know this isn't a respected art form because after every show, there's always like one guy that comes up to me and he's like, hey man, seen you do your thing up there tonight. I'm actually thinking about doing it myself. Yeah, thanks for letting me know what you've seen tonight looks doable, man. Thanks for the compliment, man. I've only risked everything. I just wish I did something more respectful. You know, like you got artists here that I've seen like them making installations downstairs. Like I wish I would have did something more like, I don't know, like ceramics, right? That's a respectable art form. No one ever sees a nice lady on a potter's wheel and is like, that shit looks easy. I could do that shit. Give me this fucking clay. That shit is easy, lady. No, you respect it. It's nice. You know, you go to the museum. Anybody ever been like a nice museum, like the Met, right? You go to a museum, lost civilizations, what do they leave behind for us? Plates, cups, faces. Not one Kevin Hart DVD. Not one at the Met. Because this isn't respected. No. And I know what a lot of you are thinking. You bought tickets, you wanted to laugh. You bought into the lie, you know? You bought into that age-old lie that we as Americans tell ourselves. Laughter's the best medicine. Because healthcare is fucked up in this country. Laughter is the best medicine. It's Oxycontin. That's the best. That's the best. No one is sucking dick and abandoning their family for laughter. And what an out-of-touch thing to say, like, laughter is the best medicine. Like, when we all as people, no matter like our race or religion, we've all, one common human experience, we've all been sick. You know, and we know what sick people like. Soup. And what do you eat that out of? A bowl. Back to ceramics. The real shit. My name's Rufat. You all have a good night. Give it up one more time for Rufat Agayev.
Your next comic of the evening was one of the first people I saw live when I started doing comedy in Atlanta. He's very funny. Please give a warm Upper Valley welcome to Shaunak Godkhindi.
Keep it going for Ali, everybody. So sweet, keep it going for I don't know if you guys know this, he's actually the reason I'm in the cast right now. Oh wait, no, that's not true. No, yeah, it was. Do you guys know Ali?
Yeah.
Yeah, before the show, he was like, you better do a fucking good job tonight. I was like, what? And he was like, and then you pushed me. I'm in the cast. You guys all live in White River Junction. Keep it going for yourselves for coming out, huh? This is awesome. As a person of color, I love visiting like small liberal towns like this because the white people feel bad for racism and they're so nice to you here. If you, like, every time I've made eye contact with someone here, they're like, hi, how you want a scone? Hi. We're just so sweet. I think I'm used to that, though, because I'm from the South, and you know what's from the South here? Yeah, dude. You know, it's so different. In the South, you know, you can back me up on this. It's so normal to make eye contact, smile at strangers, talk to strangers. It's so normal. You'll be, like, and not the case in New York. I live in New York now. It's very different. Like, in the South, you'll just be at a grocery store, and a lady will come up to you and be like, $6 for a bag of Doritos. Oh, my God. These better get rid of my crow's feet and bring back my dead son. Average conversation with a stranger in the South. You talk to her for 15 minutes, you end up on her Christmas card list. And when she dies, you inherit a small piece of land in Tennessee, you know? Very normal to talk to strangers in the South. In New York, not the case. I had to adjust. My first weekend in New York, I was on the train late at night. I was just smiling, making eye contact with people. Just smiling, hard eye contact with strangers. And this guy from the back of the train car was like, hey man, what the fuck is you smiling at? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And he was like, nah, Mickey Mouse, what are you smiling at? And I got scared, dude. I didn't know what to do. I just told him what was in my heart, you know. I was like, I don't know. I thought we could be friends. And I don't think anyone had, like, been vulnerable with him like that. So he was just like, nah, man. We could do Instagram though. So now me and this guy Tony, who has 6 kids and loves Trump, are friends on Instagram. I really gotta cut it back. I gotta stop talking to strangers. I remember like a few weeks ago I was in Queens, and there's this older lady on the bus stop looking at her phone on TikTok, and it's never happened to me before. One of my videos came up on her TikTok, and I was so excited. I shouldn't have done this. I went over and tapped her on the shoulder. And so she's looking at my face on TikTok, and then she turns around just to see me being like, hi! And she was like, ay, el diablo! She thought I was the devil, dude. You can't do that. This lady thinks I'm the devil now. I don't know. I love talking to strangers. I take a lot of, when I travel a lot for stand-up, I take a lot of Uber and Lyft. And they have a new feature on Uber and Lyft where you can now request a silent ride from your driver. Have you seen that? Do we have Uber in White River Junction? We just got a guy named Carl. He'll drive you around. We don't have Uber. We got this new app, Carl. Call Carl. He'll give you a ride. You guys don't even have Uber here? No. What do? If you're drunk, you just drive drunk? Yeah, so many different answers. You just sleep in the car? Or the bus? The bus? Yeah. The bus is free? Okay, it'd be funny if you had like a full bus driver's outfit. Bus guys, seriously, no one's taking it. Yeah, I'm on the bus all the time, no one's taking it. When you leave, there's Uber and Lyft, there's this great app you can take instead of getting on the bus. They just added a new feature. There's a feature though, where you can request a silent ride from your driver. Which seems crazy. It seems like a nice new thing for the rider, but it's like, dog, when did we get that entitled? That we're asking the people that drive us around to shut the fuck up when they do it like little kings and queens. I demand my chauffeur be silent when he picks me up at Buffalo Wild Wings. You have sauce under here to tell this guy to shut up? That's crazy, dude. Talk to your driver, man. You'll have fun, I promise. You'll have a good time. Like recently, they want to talk to you. It's gonna be fun. Every time I talk to my driver, I hear something interesting. Like a few weeks ago, I was drunk. I had a lot of White Claw in my system. I was a little hammered. And if you think I'm chatty now, you get me drunk, I'll talk to my reflection for an hour. You know? I'm a social little pipsqueak. And I got in the car, I was feeling chatty. I noticed he had a toy snake from the zoo on his rearview mirror. I didn't even know I was saying this. I was like, oh my God, dude, that scared me. Snakes, that's my biggest fear, buddy. Stupid, dumb thing. Didn't expect a response. Then my very old Egyptian driver, Fahim, goes, oh, I got fears too, brother. First thing he says to me, I was like, oh, really? And he was like, yes, my biggest fear is that one day my wife will realize that she is too good for me. So deep, I was like, oh my God. And then he double dipped and he was like, and she will leave me. And I will never hear the song of her laughter ever again. Yeah, so deep, so poetic. That's what I said. I was so drunk, I didn't know what to do with that. I was like, that is beautiful, Fahim. I love you. But could I actually get the silent ride? I don't know what to do with all that. It's so crazy, buddy. Any couples in here? Make some noise. You got a significant other. Nice. Beautiful. I love it. I only asked because I got married this year, huh? Yes, sorry, ladies. This puppy's got a house. I don't know what that means either. I love her a lot. She's my best friend. We've been together for a while. And I think one of the best parts about being in like a loving, secure relationship is that now I don't get nervous around hot women anymore, you know? Like when I was single and I was around hot women, I would just turn into this like weird, overconfident version of myself to impress girls. Every lady's seen this, every guy's done this. I would just turn into this guy, you know? Yeah, definitely. Salutations, my queen. I would just act like Drake if he had a concussion. Does that make sense? Do you guys know who Drake is? He's a Jewish rapper. You can Google it. You said they'll learn. I don't know, man. It would ruin regular stuff for me. Like, I remember one time I was buying toilet paper and I had 2 of the value size packs with me. And the girl checking me out was so cute. I had a crush on her for a while. I put my 2 packs of toilet paper down and she goes, dang, that's like a lot of toilet paper. And I got nervous and I was like, yeah, you know how I do it. Yeah, come over, girl. It's doo-doo mode for real at the house. I know. That groan was great. I wish you had told me before that wasn't cool. It would, I don't know, man. Here's the thing. Because I love my wife, 9 times out of 10 now, if I'm talking to a hot lady, I'm totally normal. I'm happy. I don't need anything. But sometimes you see somebody so attractive that it kind of freaks you out, makes you nervous again. My wife and I were at a party recently, and we were talking to this lady. She was so hot that when she started talking to me, I blacked out. I really don't know what I said to her. And then she walks away, and my wife was like, what the fuck was that? And I like came back to reality. I was like, whoa, was I being weird? And she was like, yes, you kept bouncing your shoulders up and down, rubbing your hands together like you had lotion on them. And at one point you just went, wine, delicious. That's not how you talk to people, you know? Oh my God. I like weed a lot. Do you guys smoke weed in River Junction? I believe it now that you say it. What is that? Oh, it says mom shit, maybe weed. I believe that you smoke weed. You're in a onesie and you have tattoos. You look like every art teacher I've ever had. You used to be a health teacher? Okay, that's next. That's the art teaching of STEM. Sex ed? That's awesome, man. I don't know. I like weed. I've never done anything stronger. Do you guys know what DMT is? Dude, has anyone in here done it? No? Okay. Yeah, I don't know how you get home from doing DMT. You guys don't even have Uber here. Doing DMT and getting on the bus would be so scary. Hey, I know you have a face of a leopard, but I need you to get me home. I've never done DMT. 2 guys at a party tried to get me to do DMT. This was their pitch, I swear to God. One of them was like, dude, I did DMT, and I experienced life as an Indian person for 3 years. I was like, okay, I'm kind of doing that right now. I was like, that's crazy. Also, which 3 years? Childhood, SAT prep, adulthood? What 3 years are you talking about? And then before I could ask that, the other guy that was there, he had like bigger gauges and longer dreads for a white guy. He was like, dude, me too. I did DMT. My trip started. I woke up as a child in India. I lived there for years. And then one day the trip ended and I woke up in my own body again. And as an Indian dude, I heard both of these stories. And I was like, am I on fucking DMT right now? Am I going to wake up as a white guy being like, please, you must break the curse with me. It's the only way. What's that?
What is it? What is it?
What is it? Oh, it's a very strong hallucinogenic drug. You ask that like you're on it right now and you're trying to get out of a DUI. Oh, no, officer, I wouldn't even know what to do with this. No, what do you mean? I don't know what that is. They don't teach health anymore? Okay, you're awesome, lady. What do you do in White River Junction now?
I don't live here, but
Okay.
I own a distillery.
You own a distillery? Why did you ask that? That was so sweet. You were like, I own a distillery.
Because I'm gonna quit.
You're gonna quit? Okay, this is more information than I did. You know, see, this is the fun thing about talking to white people in liberal towns like this. They'll tell you their whole life story. Hi, how are you? Well, I realized I was a lesbian in 1998. Oh, yeah, my son's on that meth, yeah. He's on the meth, but I told him to get off. I don't know. I'm gonna quit my distillery job, though. And you're like, why do I know? I know chapter 7 things, despite even opening the book right now. Well, what's your name?
Meg.
Meg, keep it going for Meg, everybody. She's gonna quit her job at the distillery. There's no reason for me to know that, but I did. This is Meg. She's quitting her job at distillery, and she is a Pisces rising. Are you? Oh my God! I think I just out-white ladied you. I get your distillery and your tattoos now. I guess that? Really? You guys need to. I need the key to the city here. That's cool, man. I can't believe I just guessed that. Maybe, what's that? That's very cool. Thank you, guys. Wow, I out-white ladied the most white lady. This is crazy. I'm gonna reach into my pockets. There's just gonna be a little crystal here. And be like, oh, what? Really? Oh my God, maybe I am on DMT. This was too coincidental to be a thing. I am also an immigrant. I was not born here in America. Anyone else not born here? Get him! No, I'm kidding. Ice isn't here. I asked before I showed up. I'm an immigrant, man. I grew up in the South, which I would not recommend that combination. And I don't know if you have the news. They're not happy about it. I grew up in Georgia, and I've heard the phrase, go back to where you came from, so many times since Trump got elected, you know? And it sucks to hear, but I'll tell you this, White River Junction, no matter how many times someone yells that from a Ford F-150, I am not going back. I'm not leaving. You know, it's not even like a moral stance, you know? I just happen to have Amazon Prime now, and I have too much stuff to get deported. Does that make sense? I have too many items. It would be a logistics nightmare to kick me out. You guys are being chill. I did that joke a few months ago in Montgomery, Alabama. Yes, very different reaction. I was in Montgomery, I was having a good time, and I was like, I'm not getting deported unless someone helps me move. And then the entire city of Montgomery was just like, is that all he needs? Help moving, come on, baby, bless your heart. We literally all brought trucks. This thing's got all-wheel drive. Let's get you out of here. I told somebody from my building I was from the South. I told him I was from Georgia, and he said, I got you beat. I'm from a small town called Arab, Alabama. Real place, A-R-A-B, Alabama. Really should be pronounced Arab, Alabama. I love that they named their town after the thing they're most afraid of. Y'all come on down to Arab, Alabama. We're right next to Women's Healthcare, Alabama. Come on, see us. Come on, see us. We're right next to Drag Queen, Alabama. Come on, see us over here. We're right next to Tofu, Alabama. Come on, see us. I don't know. You guys are cool, man. I don't know. It's a very strange place, America, try and figure out by trial and error, you know? Like, I'll give you an example. My family came here April of 2001. And nobody told us about Halloween. Take a second and think about that. We're the only place that does it, and we don't bother telling anyone it's coming. Like, we came here in April, things were normal. October, things started getting spooky as shit. And nobody told us they were gonna get spooky outside. Like, we came here in April, things were normal. October of 2001, my family's driving around, and there's like tombstones everywhere now. And skeletons and blood and knives. Everything's all scary. And my dad, in a very quiet moment, we're like driving around. We have no idea what's going on. My parents are like kind of speaking English. We're so confused. And my dad, in a very quiet moment, just goes, do you think this is because of 9/11? And my mom was like, yeah, probably. They're scared, we're scared. Spooky time in America. Things are changing. Big vibe shift, huh? So we didn't know what Halloween was. We're just scared and things are spooky. And I remember being in school the day before Halloween in 2nd grade. My teacher was like, hey guys, big costume contest tomorrow. Everyone bring your costumes. Winner gets a bunch of candy. This is the first I'm hearing about costumes, okay? So I dragged my parents to Walmart, and it's the day before Halloween, and the only costumes left were all slutty as hell. They were all like sexy costumes for women, and in 2nd grade, I did not have the hips to pull off a Catwoman costume. So my dad was like, we have to make a costume with stuff we have in the house. And we didn't have shit. We were poor in the middle of Illinois. We didn't have anything. And the only like different piece of clothing we had that I could wear was like my mom's suit, okay? I had my clothes, and then my mom had a suit. She's 4'9". I was a chubby boy. So I go to school in a woman's power suit. And I was a strange looking kid. I was short, I was chubby, I had a bowl cut. And I've had this mustache since I was in pre-K. So I get off the bus looking like the smallest member of the cartel. I look like a Latin version of Lord Farquaad. Does that make sense? All damn getting weird looks, and then we get to the costume contest, and it's like 150 people in the auditorium. It kind of looks like this, except there's more people, and they're excited, and they love the costume contest. And we come out one by one. My principal has a costume, and she's like, "Oh my God, it's Batman, everybody! Oh my God, an astronaut!" Vibes are high. The yearbook lady's going nuts, you know. And then I get out there, and I just confuse all 150 people. Everyone's looking at me like, "Is that the fucking maintenance guy on his way to Shark Tank?" I mean, what am I looking at? My principal, she's confused too. She's like, "Hey, buddy, I have to announce you. What are you supposed to be?" But I had not thought that far ahead. I was so excited to have a costume, I didn't know I needed, like, lore on top of it, you know? So I just looked at her, I looked at my mom's Burlington Coat Factory suit, and I was like, I believe I am here dressed up as my mother? I'm here as that lady. I'm here as my little mommy. And she gave me this look like, I'm not saying little mommy, into the microphone. So she just did the best she could with the pieces she had. You know, she was like, "Okay, everybody, start getting the energy up for the beautiful Miss Hillary Clinton." And I lost that election too, you know? So, you guys are great. My name's Shaunak. Give it a go for Ali, everybody.
Keep it going for Shaunak Godkhindi, right? So good. It's so funny. I have one more punchline for that Disney World joke. Can I try it on y'all? Alright, I'm gonna do it anyway because you're not going anywhere. So Disney World's coming with the strip club. It's called Whole Nude World. And the firework show is called The Seven Dwarves Make It Snow White. That's pretty good. That's structure in a joke. This is why I came to graduate school, and they're the fun ones. Okay, your next comic, incredibly funny guy, just did his own Don't Tell set, over 100,000 views right now. Please make some noise for the very funny Ian Levy.
We did it. We made it. Okay. Hello. Okay, that's good. I guess I'll just tell you a bit about me. That's okay. The group over there didn't realize. That's good. Very exciting. It's a miracle we made it up here. Comics are all kinds of idiots. I'm trying to take better care of myself right now. I've hit the age where I've started taking vitamins, and so I take vitamin gummies. And what I did was I took the bottle of gummies and I put them on my windowsill so every morning I could eat my gummies first thing. And what happened is the sun came through the window and it melted my gummies. So I now have a single gummy that every morning I eat from like an apple. I have so much vitamins in me right now. The vitamin C of 10 men inside me. So it's unregulated. I'm kind of, it's cold outside. I don't know if anyone's realized that. It's a little cold. I'm from California, so this sucks. You guys are stupid for living on this place. No, it's very nice. No, I'm joking. No, it's very nice. Please don't hate me, but California is objectively better. No, I'm joking. I am joking. I've been learning a lot about how to live here. Like I now live in Brooklyn, and so I'm having a lot of new experiences. My first time ever not having a car, so I'm taking the subway everywhere. Like when I first moved, I had to furnish my apartment, so I took a kitchen table on the subway, right? Because people told me anything goes on the subway. I was told that people masturbate on the subway, and everyone just ignores it. But apparently, it's really hard to ignore a kitchen table, right? You know. Because me and my buddy, we carried it on, and there's this guy on the phone, and he just turned and looked at us and went, "Jesus Christ." You know, and we're like trying not to be in the way, but it's a crowded subway car, so we're like rocking back and forth and bumping people. People are getting mad, and finally this guy snapped and started freaking out, and he went, Hey, you gotta get that table off the subway! So me and my buddy, we started masturbating. I mean, it was right there. And then everyone ignored us, okay, as we carried the table off, you know. And now the table's a nice sheen to it. It's nicely varnished, so it's good. Yeah, okay, there we go. It's fun. It's gross. Subway's a scary place. I saw someone get punched the other day for doing nothing wrong. Yeah, someone just walked out to a subway car, walked up to a guy, and just went, and punched him in the face. And the guy who got hit was so surprised, he said, hello. And I was like, hello? Exactly, you know. I'm glad the punching guy didn't look at me. I would have been like, you know. So, it's not good. But I've never had violence happen to me on the subway, but I've come close. I was once just riding somewhere, and there's this guy like on the other side of the car staring at me, and I was like, I hope this goes away. And then he crossed the crowded subway car and got right in my face, and he went, I should kick your ass. You're so lucky this train's full of people. And I said, excuse me? And he went, your name's Jeremy, right? And I was like, no, I'm Ian. And then he said, I'm gonna need to see some ID. And if he was like a police officer, so I would have been like, I don't need to show you it. But with him, I was like, yes, absolutely. Okay, whatever. You keep my wallet if you want. That's fine too, you know? And he took my driver's license, and he looked at it, and then he went, oh, my bad, man. And just gave it back to me, like that. And I was like, what was that? And he went, oh, I used to work with this guy named Jeremy who said a lot of messed up stuff back in the day. So if I ever see him again, I'm gonna kick his ass. And then he leaned in close and went, always be kind to your coworkers. And then he just walked off on the train. And for him, the story's over. But for me, I know my doppelgangers out there saying God knows what to people. So now when I see guys who look like me, I have to be like, yo, are you Jeremy? You know? And if they're like, no, I'm like, I need to see some ID! And they get the fuck out of them. So, okay, that's not good. Crazy people out there. I had one, actually, the craziest thing I've had happen is I had a stalker recently. That was not good. I went on a date with this woman, and then I tried to end it, and she wouldn't stop texting me, so I was forced to block her phone number. And then she found all of my social media pages and would message me on there, so I was forced to block her on there. And then she found my Venmo and would send me money in order to send me messages, and I was forced to let her keep doing that one. So I was like, we'll see how far this could go, you know. But it got pretty bad. She started to threaten to actually show up to places I was at. So I figured it'd be better if like I controlled the situation. So I actually invited her out to a comedy show. Because then I was like, at least that way I know where she is, you know, there's other people. So I set tickets aside for her at a show. And then she did not show up. Yeah, immediately, I unblocked her and was like, where were you? I was like, you're supposed to be obsessed with me. Now I'm thinking about you the whole time, you know? And it turns out she didn't respond, so I look up her social media, and she's moved on. She's dating another guy. It was just like, oh, I thought, you know, I guess you would have just been obsessed with anyone, you know? I don't know. I thought we had a special and the guy, it made me feel better. The guy actually kind of looked like me, so I was like, okay, that she hasn't totally moved on. And I looked at the guy's profile, and his name was Jeremy. So I was like, oh, okay. Okay, there you go. What a long way for a stupid punchline. Okay. What else do I have? Oh, okay. I can tell you what I actually do for a day job. Is I am a nanny, or as we say in the biz, a manny. So it's a good gig. I work with kids. I love working with kids. I used to, during the pandemic, I worked with 3 6-year-old boys, and they were honestly my best friends. You know, they were so cool. Like, they helped me through a breakup. Like, if anyone in here has ever gone through a breakup, try talking to a child. Because the advice they give is terrible, but it feels good to hear. Because I tell all my adult friends about my breakup, and they'd be like, you just gotta get out there, start dating again. And then I'd tell the kids about my breakup, and they'd be like, you should blow up her house. They sound better, but I agree. I feel seen right now, you know? Girls are gross and they don't deserve houses, so it's a good time. I don't work with the boys anymore. I now actually work with a 4-year-old little girl, which is different, because she's not as violent as the boys, but she is more judgmental of me personally. You know, it's hard to deal with. Like the other day, she was playing with this little toy airplane, so I started making airplane noises. I was like, zzz, zzz. At a certain point, she looked up at me and went, "It's a quiet airplane." If I'm a professional performer, I'm not going to take that. So I doubled down. I started going, "Ew, ew." And then she went, "You're silly." I was like, "Yeah, I'm silly." And then she went, "I don't like silly." I got her back, though. I blew up her house. So, there we go. Okay, who's laughing now? So, it's a good time. I do like working with kids. The only bad part about working with kids is it's more of the parents are the crazy ones. So you never really know what you get thrown into. Like sometimes through like the kind of parent network, I'll get hired to just work with random children. And like this happened recently. This woman who I'd never worked with her son before, she hired me to work with her 3-year-old son. And so I show up to the house. His mom was like, okay, my son's taking a nap. I'm gonna go. And then she just left. And then the kid wakes up and I'm there. And he looked at me and went, Mama? And I went, your mother's gone. And he did not handle that well. So, so I don't know where to go from that. It's just a thing that happened. It's fun. I think my favorite part about working with kids is you get to indoctrinate them a little bit. And not even in, I wouldn't do like religion or politics. I would just make them have good taste in movies, you know? They'd be like, can we watch Sonic 3? And I'd be like, we're watching Casablanca. Okay, so, okay, no. Fair enough. Wrote that last night. Never say it again. Okay, that's good to know. Sometimes you just gotta throw the new ones out there and see what sticks. I watch dogs sometimes. I watch my sister's dog. My sister has a little corgi named Tofu, who I love more than life himself. And it's a very sweet dog, but my only problem with the dog is I have to take him to the dog park sometimes, and it's embarrassing to be with this dog around other like guys with their dogs, because my sister's the one who trained the dog, so it only responds to like the tone of voice that she talks to him in. So I'll be there with like these other like men with their dogs, and they'll be like, Rex, come here, Chomper, heel. And then I have to be like, Tofu! Tofu! Kill! The dog also has anxiety. So this little dog has anxiety, so he takes medication, he takes Prozac to calm down every night. Which is also good. That's something we bred into them, I think, by accident. There's no wolf out there who's going like, like that's I don't know, no, that's a dead wolf right there. So that's a new problem we have with dogs. But I have to give him little pills, and I was staying at my sister's house, and I accidentally, in her medicine cabinet, I gave him the wrong pills recently. I actually fed her dog Adderall. And, I know, and that dog, man, he got his life together, okay? He got focused, he cleaned his room, yeah, fair enough. I don't know. I can tell you something, here's something fun about me. I was homeschooled growing up, so that's a fun thing about me. Can just someone yell out, like, what's a stereotype you think of, like, homeschool people?
You're not vaccinated.
Okay. Did you hear when she, if you didn't, she said big penis. Now, that's a classic homeschool stereotype. I liked homeschooling, but we did things kind of differently. Like we never did any grades, I'll tell you this. Every single day, no matter how I did, my mom just told me she loved me. Right? Yeah, and now I cannot read. So, horrible system. Turns out you need structure. Please don't cough in here, I'm not vaccinated. Oh boy, it was a good time. One of the good things about homeschooling is my mom tried really hard to teach me and my siblings good values. Like growing up, she used to read me and my sister stories, and whenever we story about a princess, she would always change the word of beautiful to smart. So all of our stories about like the smartest princess in all the land. And it worked really well, right? Because my sister grew up to become incredibly smart and just horrifically ugly. No, I feel like I was pulling that. It's a joke. Don't worry. It's my sister's very attractive. So, but that's no. You guys know what I'm saying. It's like, look, when you're homeschooled, it's a small dating pool. Okay, you don't have a lot of options. Okay, my sex ed teacher said it's fine, and she's my mom. So we're doing good. We're getting out there. I'm trying. I don't know. I'm looking for love right now. I am looking for love. My sister left me, so I'm doing that. I'm bad at dating. I'm on all these dating apps and stuff, and I always find people on dating apps always say they're looking for a guy with a sense of humor, and then I'll make a joke, and they go, not like that. So, like I came across this woman who wrote on her dating profile recently, only message me if you have a definition for consent. So I messaged her. I said, I have a definition for consent, but I wouldn't want to force it on you. And she did not respond. So, a bit about that one, yeah. I told my friend about that. He's like, at least get a fun little comedy bit out of it. And I was like, I would rather have a girlfriend. So, it's not quite the same. It's tough, man. I'm going on dates. That doesn't always go well. Here's what, I went on a date recently with a woman, and we were kind of chatting, and we started talking about hobbies, and I told her I play video games. And she went, oh, are you like a little gamer boy? What could I say at that point to not sound... I can't be like, no, I'm a big gamer boy. Now bring me my buttered noodles. You could, that's a messed up thing to do, because you could say that about any, you could be like, I'm an astrophysicist. So somebody like, are you a little astrophysicist boy? And, no, it's a lose-lose. I did. Here's one, though, later it came up in conversation that she said something kind of interesting. She said, I don't like dating men who make more money than I do because it creates a power imbalance in the relationship. And I was just like, well, I've got fantastic news. You're going to have so much power in this relationship. It's a good time. I don't know. I am looking for... part of my problem is I also, I'm never good on dates. I don't know how to end a date. At the end of every date, I'm always just like, see me again, please. I never know what to say. But I have a friend of mine who's a woman who she was trying to give me advice recently, and she said, here's what I do. At the end of a date, I try to end on a fun, flirty note. So I'll say to them, I have to go home now, or else I'm gonna have sex with you. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to say that. It's a slight different energy coming from me. If I'm standing alone with a woman in a parking lot, and I go, I have to go home now, or else I'm going to have sex with you. You say it's the end of a date, I say it's the start of a true crime podcast, so... No, thank you at all. It's tough. I feel like I'm learning a lot from each relationship I've had. I've learned a lot. Who here is in love? Okay. Or here, make some noise if you're in a relationship. Okay. Over here, only cheered for the relationship part, so I don't know what's going on over there. But it's tough, man. I feel like I learn a lot with each relationship. Like with my last relationship, I learned how much lying you have to do. Do you guys know, the constant lying to make a relationship work? I don't even mean, negative lies. I mean, there'd be, positive lies to build up each other's ego. My ex used to put me in positions where I'd have to lie, She'd say to me, am I the prettiest girl in the whole world? Here's the thing, right? Obviously, she's not, okay? So let's start there. If you're dating me, you're not, okay? That's a baseline to work from. I'm sorry, but... And also, I don't get why it has to... Because I don't want you to pull back. She was incredibly beautiful. It's not, But why does it got to be the prettiest girl in the whole world? That's a crazy... It's too big of a lie. I'm not that good of an actor. I'm sorry. I'm just... And it's because there's no such thing as the prettiest. That's a made-up concept. There's no one prettiest girl in the whole world. But if there was a single prettiest girl in the whole world, it would be her sister. So I just feel like it's crazy to put on me. Okay. I feel you guys pull it back. It's not like she wouldn't lie to me, too, We'd be in the bedroom. And she'd be like, ooh. Ooh. You're so big. Yeah, that's a lie. Okay, it's an obvious lie. I can take it, but that's a level of lie I can accept, you know? I'll tell you what I never once did. I was never like, but am I the biggest in the whole world? That's a crazy thing to put on me. Oh, boy. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. We would lie about, there's really mundane lies, too, you know? Like, she used to also always ask me, like, what am I thinking about? Like what? I'm like, what are you thinking about? And you can't just be like nothing, because then she's like, that's a lie, you know. And then so I have to lie, and then I just be like, just thinking about how much I love you. Yum, 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 yum. You know, my muffin top. I remember after we broke up, my friends were trying to cheer me up, and they took me to a strip club, which is just the worst. I don't like strip clubs. And there's nothing worse than being sad in a strip club if you're just like crying or getting a lap dance. I felt bad for the woman. She didn't do anything wrong, but I'm just like, my friends kind of forced me into it. And I think the woman could tell that something was wrong, because at a certain point she like looked down at me and she went, what? I went, what? And she was like, what are you thinking about? And I was like, just thinking about how much I love you. Oh, honey bunny, yum, 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 yum. That's fair enough. That's what that one deserved. Okay. Okay, I got the light. You guys are a very fun audience, and I don't know how to end with you guys, because I could do something very graphically dirty, but you seem like nice people. Who I don't know if, because what we have is, it feels like a bunch of young people who are, I gotta be honest, the new generation stuck-up prudes, okay? And then the old people are fun to, you know, they'll talk about sex, but okay. I'll tell you this. Well, I don't know if you guys will like this, but I try to be experimental in the bedroom a little bit. Here's one. A friend of mine recently tried to give me a Blue Chew, which I don't know if you guys know. It's essentially just modern day Viagra, if you don't know. And a friend tried to give me some, and I went, oh, I actually don't need this. And he went, no, it's fine. Even if you don't need it, you can take it. You can last a lot longer in the bedroom. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll try it, you know. And so I had a woman come over, and we were like fooling around. And then I remembered, I was like, oh, I got that pill. So I took it and I ate it. And then the woman, she said, what's that? And I went, oh, it's like a pill to make my dick hard. And then she went, oh, well, how long does it take to start working? And I went, I don't know, I've never used it before. And then she said, I'm the first woman you've ever needed that for? And I spent the rest of the night consoling a crying woman. Well, having the most intense erection of my life! I could have pierced the heart of a whale. We were both crying, but I was like, you're so pretty, please touch it. I'm sorry, I made a horrible mistake. Okay. Hey guys, I think that's all my time. I gotta get out of here. Give it up for your amazing host! Somebody, there he is! Hey!
One more time for Ian Levy!
Okay, the time you've all been waiting for. He's making a homecoming. He's a Tucky from the class of, Paul, is it 1900, like the first class of our school? There you are. Please give it up for my mentor, your alum, the very funny Paul Ollinger.
Give it up for Ali, everybody. Give it up for him and Shaunak and Rufat and Ian. Nice to see everyone. Is this a Tuck crowd? How many Tuckies do we have? Wow. Well, thanks for coming out and not studying tonight, because if you're not studying, you could be doing this in 28 years. You really put your mind to it. In almost 3 decades, you could be doing your side gig in White River Junction for $75 and a free club soda, I think. I'm so happy to be here. I'm a very proud Tuck alum. I borrowed the equivalent of $160,000 to get my MBA, and last year I made $16,000 before expenses. Is that a 10% return on investment? I don't remember doing the Corp Fin class, so maybe that's why I made these terrible career decisions. I don't know. It's good to be here. 28 years ago. Shit, I'm old now. It's crazy. I've got hair growing on the side of my neck now. It's disgusting. It's not natural hair. It's hair that grows because I use Rogaine and it rolls down the side of my head. It grows hair down here. Nothing up here. But down here, it's really effective. I wanted to grow a thick head of hair. Instead, I grew a scarf. Nice. Thank you, Rogaine. Thank you, Pfizer Pharmaceutical Corporation of New Jersey. I appreciate that. Got so much hair in my nose now. It looks like I start every morning by cutting up lines of Rogaine on the counter going, all right, we're going to party today, Rogaine. All right. That was a cocaine reference, right? That's what that was. Cocaine was this great drug from the 80s, you know? Some of you guys in the back remember that. Some of you guys in the back. It was a lot like meth, but you don't lose your teeth. That was the thing. It's like, you lose your Porsche and your family, but you keep your chompers, so that's a good thing. All right, not as good as the crowd in Florida last week. I don't know why. I'm joking. The only drugs I do now are statins and baby aspirin. That's like blood thinners. I've never done cocaine, not one time. I think that's because I have too addictive a personality. It's like I don't think you should try the world's most addictive drug if you can't stop yourself halfway through a bag of Fritos. I think that's a pretty good indication that the 8-ball's not going to last all night. It's like if you've ever eaten, taken that half-eaten pint of Ben & Jerry's, put it in the freezer, walked to the sofa, sat down and said, fuck it, I'm going to finish that and gone back to the freezer. That's cocaine addict behavior right there. Don't do the drugs. Don't do the drugs. I feel good. I'm 55. I feel good about my age. When I was 30 and I was losing my hair, I was very self-conscious. I was like, it's because I was still single and I was dating. Today, I've been married 17 years. I don't care. Thank you for the one laugh right there. I appreciate that. I'm comfortable with who I am. I've accepted it, Like I was going through security at the airport not long ago. A little Rogaine rolls out of my carry-on bag, and this lady next to me, very pretty lady next to me, was like, oh, well, that's kind of embarrassing, isn't it? I said, lady, I'm 55 years old. That is hardly the most embarrassing thing in that carry-on bag, all right? I got way worse shit in there, trust me. I got packing those Breathe Right snore strips that my wife makes me wear to bed every night. I got 2 tubes of Preparation H, and they're squeezed down to the bottom for the emergency hangover mornings. We're like, come on, baby, daddy needs a miracle. And I said, lady, there's enough Viagra in there to make Stephen Hawking stand up, so I don't give a shit about the Rogaine. Hey, I'm not an asshole. I wrote that joke before he died, okay? I just don't write a lot of new material, that's all. That's my biggest problem. I'm very proud to have a Tuck degree, I'm very proud of having gone to Dartmouth. I got into Dartmouth and I have a Tuck degree. The unfortunate thing is in my life, I don't know how to do anything. I have the diploma, but it doesn't teach you how to do anything. What, I know how to market? What the fuck does that mean? You're a consultant to who? Here's practical shit. I don't know, we had a pool in our last house, and the guy comes to me and he's like, I got to replace the O-ring. And I was like, oh, the O-ring, that's what brought down the space shuttle. We got to fix that. I was like, how much does that cost? He's like, $800. I'm like, fucking do 2 of them. Let's do it. Let's go. Here's 2 indications you're not the guy to fix your own leaky faucet. Indication number 1 is if every time you turn that wrench, you have to mumble to yourself, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Don't try to fix your own stuff, okay? The second indication that you're not the guy to fix your own leaky faucet is that to get to that faucet, you have to move from your countertop a very large bottle of Kiehl's Men's Facial Fuel Moisturizer. Because there's only two kinds of guys. Guys who know how to fix stuff and guys who exfoliate, all right? That's the only two guys. Not a lot of dudes own both a 200-piece Craftsman socket wrench set and a Clarisonic spinning facial brush. And that's too bad because, with the socket wrench set, you can fix anything in your house, and with the spinning facial brush, you can gently remove dirt, sweat, and oil left behind by ordinary soap and water. And you don't know that unless you were watching the infomercial I was watching after having drunk a whole bottle of Turning Leaf Chardonnay by myself. I think the spinning facial brush was an impulse purchase, but I love it. I love it. I really do. What I love about this joke is that the women laugh, and the gay guys laugh, and the straight guys just sit there looking at me with, what the fuck are you talking about? Written all over their dumb, dehydrated faces, It's like, I'm talking about a daily skincare regimen, bro, all right? I'm talking about exfoliating, cleansing, moisturizing, hitting it with some toner if it's a special occasion, The rest of them, nobody up here has to wear sunblock, but for the rest of the world, sunblock is important. Please tell me, guys, please tell me you don't wash your face with Irish Spring. Please tell me that. That's just shamrocks and napalm is all that is. That's our dads taught us how to, back in the 50s when life expectancy was 6 decades. But now we're going to live longer. You got to take care of your skin, man. Coast soap? Wait, the eye opener? You know what else opens your eyes? Bleach. Bleach will open your eyes. Coffee first, then shower, okay? Don't take your hangover out on your epidermis. This is serious stuff. Well, Paul, if you know you're not the guy to fix your own leaky faucet, why do you try? I'll tell you why I try. Because I'm easily threatened. That's why. And when I see that faucet dripping, I don't hear, call a plumber. What I hear is, try and fix me, you little bitch. And I get all defensive, and I'm like, I'll show you who's a little bitch. I'm about to Google how to fix a leaky faucet. I'm going to watch some YouTube videos, and then I'm going to get all DIY up on your Kohler ass, okay? I'm going to fix you if it takes me 3 trips to Home Depot, 2 trips to Ace Hardware, and 1 trip to the emergency room, all right? So then I spend 12 irrecoverable hours of my life trying to prove to myself that I am masculine enough to fix an appliance. And when I finally give up and call a plumber, she shows up. Yes, she, the best looking plumber in North America. And she takes one look at the mess I've made on my counter and said, what made you think you know how to fix this? And I said, well, I do have a Master's of Business Administration from the Tuck School of Business at Dartmouth. Maybe you've heard of it. No? So she charged me double and left after 5 minutes. That's what she did. But I had to fix that faucet, y'all. I had to prove myself. And plus, my father-in-law was coming to town. And if he saw that faucet dripping, he would have yet further evidence that his daughter married an overeducated, undercompetent, tender-palmed, liberal arts half-man. That's who I am. He's a man's man, y'all, a real man. He rides horses, he packs his own shotgun shells, he eats beef jerky on the toilet. That's who this guy is. I sing show tunes and wear Lululemon. That's who I am, right? He's got a big truck with a gun rack and he doesn't park headed, he backs that truck into parking spaces, okay? Because when the shit goes down, he's gonna be ready. That's who he is. He doesn't judge the man by the color of his skin. He judges the man by the size of his gas grill. That's how he does. And the color of his skin. Obviously. Obviously. He owns 4 Yeti coolers. 4 of them. That's like $3,000 worth of coolers, y'all. When he applies for a loan, he has to list his assets. Stocks, bonds, coolers. That's who he is. When did we start paying $800 for a cooler? When did this happen? I didn't know about this brand until a few years ago. I'm driving down the road with my friend. I saw a guy with a Yeti bumper sticker. And I said to my buddy, I was like, does this guy have like a Bigfoot fetish or something? Like, what is... And he goes, no, it's a cooler. And I'm like, why would anybody brag about the kind of cooler that they own? And he goes, they cost like $800. And I'm like, why would anybody pay $800 for a cooler? He goes, because they keep your ice cold for like 6 months. And I'm like, ice is free, you dumb son of a bitch. What are we doing here? What? I was so intrigued, I went to the Yeti website and I found out they have financing options available on the Yeti website. Ladies and gentlemen, that means there are people out there making monthly payments on a fucking cooler. That's where we are in the United States of America, okay? Let me put that another way. There's people out there not making monthly payments on a cooler, which means there's somebody else out there whose job is to be a cooler repo man. And he's knocking on doors in the middle of the night, like Dog the Yeti hunter, you know, and he's like, you know I'm here, man, turn on the cooler. So what I'm trying to say is that my father-in-law doesn't respect me as a man, and every time I see him, I give him yet more evidence to confirm his belief. Last summer, we were out driving around Yellowstone, and one morning, the men were putting the luggage up on top of the SUV. And he takes the twine, he throws it over to me. And he goes, tie a knot over there and throw it back. And so I do. And because he's known me for 20 years, he comes around to inspect my work. And he looks at the abomination of a knot that I've tied. He's like, what the hell is this? Why didn't you tie a hitch knot? I'm like, because I don't know what a hitch knot is, dude, okay? I know how to tie 2 kinds of knots. The shoelace knot and the half shoelace knot that you tie twice if you're never going to untie it, right? That's my knot portfolio. I'm not MacGyver, dude, okay? And he just looks at me with this withering look, this just look of disgust. Without words, that look says to me, 100 years in any direction and you are someone's meal. That's what you are. And he's right. He's totally right. I know I couldn't have made it across the plains in a covered wagon, and I know that 100 years in our dystopian future, I am Mad Max's girlfriend. I know that. Because in a post-apocalyptic world, there's only 2 jobs, fighters and fluffers, and I don't fight. So that kind of narrows my options down. That's sort of limits my options. What are our graduates doing 28 years after graduation? Consulting, banking, fluffing. That's where we are. That's where we are with this kid and his career. I haven't had a great career. I haven't always been a comedian. I used to work in the corporate world. My last job that I had was at Facebook. I was a vice president at Facebook, and I quit that job to chase my comedy dream. And my lesson is, don't ever do that. Don't chase your dreams. Don't be a fucking idiot, okay? Because dreams lie to you. They prey on your weakest instinct to like, you're too special for the corporate world. Yeah, you should have a Netflix half hour. I should have health insurance, is what I should have. My kids should be able to see a real doctor, not the ex-convicts they get to see on the Kaiser Permanente Bronze mobile plan with a $9,000 deductible that I got on healthcare.gov. How dreamy is that? Look, I'm glad healthcare.gov exists, but if you're on that website, you've made some terrible career decisions. And your family's going to pay for them, all right? If you haven't been on the site, they rank the plans gold, silver, bronze. Because on a government website, it would be inappropriate to rank them shitty, shittier, kill yourself now. That would be inappropriate. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. My insurance sucks. $50 flu shot. How funny is that? Not funny. Okay, this is where it gets into anger. I need to stop it funny, okay? I've been working on this with my therapist. Hang on. 14 years ago when I worked at Facebook, people actually liked Facebook. Do you remember when people liked Facebook? When it was new and novel and you were reconnecting with old friends? Today people are like, oh, Facebook, are you going to sell my data to the Russians? I mess with them a little bit. I say, the data privacy issue, it's worse than you think it is. It turns out that for the past 80 years, AT&T and Verizon have been taking their customers' names, addresses, and phone numbers, printing them in a book, and leaving that book on front porches all across North America. It's called the White Pages, and nobody gave a damn about that. But now you're worried that Vladimir Putin is going to find out that you like Coldplay. Oh no! Oh no! We're so concerned about our data. No, we don't care about our data. If I cared about my data, would I walk around with this tracking device on my wrist? No. This iWatch tells Apple every time I masturbate. It does. It's just like a little alarm goes off in Cupertino, California. They're like, Paul's at it again. Paul's at it again. He's in the room with the good Wi-Fi. He's just maybe he's playing Yahtzee. He could be playing Yahtzee. He's an angry Yahtzee player. He wants to win at Yahtzee. If I cared about my data, would I have given Walgreens my phone number 15 years ago so I could save 30 cents on Jelly Bellies? No. They've been watching my purchases for a decade and a half, and now they know that I have both ringworm and a People magazine habit. We don't care about our data. Think about it. You're in an Uber or on an airplane and your phone dies. What do? You take your charger and you plug it into the USB port on the seat in front of you, and your phone gets charged. But unbeknownst to you, that USB port is a digital glory hole, and you have no idea what's on the other side of it, whether it's a man or a woman or the Chinese military. All you know is that Al-Qaeda is getting all your passwords, and your phone is getting algorithmic chlamydia. That's all you know. I'm worried about identity theft. Really? Because you just spit into a tube and said Ancestry.com, your DNA. That's your identity. They could clone you, for God's sake. LifeLock's not going to protect you when they frame you for murder, you know? Right now in California, they're making a whole Boba Fett army out of you. You're going to get an email from 23andMe that says you have new relatives. Yeah, they're all you. That's who they are. They're going to change the name of that company to 23andMe and me and me. Because out there, who's your daddy is not a rhetorical question, all right? It's their business model. That's what they do. I'm not saying you shouldn't protect yourself online. Obviously you should. We all should. It's especially true if you have kids, as I do. My kids are now 13 and 14. And I was reminded of how important protecting them online was the second week of quarantine, when my then 10-year-old son was using my wife's iPad to do his homework. And one morning my wife came to me and she was clearly upset. And she said, Paul, did you surf porn on my iPad? And I was like, of course, what? No, what? I said, what are you talking about? What do you ask? She said, well, somebody in this house searched on my iPad for the phrase, naked lady vaginas. I said, what did they search for? And she said, naked lady vaginas. And I was like, oh my God, that's redundant. You don't need naked or lady in that search. Vaginas does all the heavy lifting, all right? This is obviously the work of an amateur querier who doesn't know how the internet functions. I was like, let me see that. She showed it to me. I was like, honey, I can prove this wasn't me. I know vaginas isn't spelled with a J, all right? I know this. But even though he misspelled it, I was proud of him because he sounded it out, you know? And he was like, vagina, all right, I was like, oh, I'm glad we got him that tutor. That was money well spent. That was good. My wife was like, baby, you know, this is crazy. I was like, and I was like, it is crazy. I mean, like, look how good Google is, you know? Even though he misspelled it, they knew exactly what he was looking for, you know? Maybe they thought he was a Spanish kid, like he was looking for vaginas or something like that. You know, like, Google, ¿dónde están las vaginas? Con las vaginas. Estoy buscando chicas sin pantalones. Gracias, Google, gracias. Oh, despacito, Google, despacito. My wife's like, baby, please tell me this was you. I was like, honey, no middle-aged man starts his dirty movie session way up at the top of the demand funnel with non-specific terms like boobs or vagina, okay? I have been in the self-pleasuring business since the first Ronald Reagan administration. I know what I'm looking for, okay? It's a lot more specific than that, all right? I'm not just gonna throw my afternoon into the hands of Google's decision tree and hope that it walks me to my particular kink, all right? I got a lot to do today, right? I gotta go to Home Depot twice. I gotta... Yeah. It's crazy. I'm a very lucky man. I grew up in a middle-class household and went to Tuck and had a great career, and I made some money, and it's... You think money's gonna solve all your problems, but then you realize it solves some of them, doesn't solve all of them. Because like I grew up resenting rich kids, but now I'm raising them, and they have no idea how good they have it, you know? When my son was 7, he went over to his really wealthy friend's house. Came home from his really wealthy friend's house. And he came in the kitchen and he said, "Hey Dad, when are we gonna hire a chef?" And I had to remind myself that he was 7 and he doesn't know how the world works. And so I put my arm around his shoulder and I said, "Son, fuck you." I grew up with a chef, Chef Boyardee, right? It was like rotten meat in a rusty tin can with a picture of Mussolini on the lid, right? Like the perfect meal for your bomb shelter. Like, my kids need to spend a little time in middle class camp at Grandpa's house, all right? Where they can play fun games like, "Don't touch the thermostat." "Oh, you're cold? Do some jumping jacks, all right? When it's 90 degrees at 10 o'clock at night in the summertime, throw open that window. Grandpa will turn on the attic fan. Yeah, that's a big scary fan that lives in the ceiling, and it doesn't make it any cooler in here, but it does suck in all the bugs, heat, and pollen from outside. Teaches you to sleep in a sticky tornado." My wife and I still fight about money, you know? Like, I hate the fact that she shops at Whole Foods because it's so expensive, you know? She's like, "You need to find something positive about me shopping at Whole Foods." I'm like, "Okay, hang on. Oh yeah, like all the money we save when we eat out? Is that what you mean?" It's like that? Turns out that wasn't what she was talking about. She'll say something like, "Let's go get sushi together," and all I hear is, "Let's go spend $100 and still be hungry." That's all I hear. But I'm trying to be a good husband. I'm 17 years married. I'm committed. I want to die with her, unless she dies first, and then it's fine. But for as long as one of us is alive, I want to be a good husband. And I think my biggest weakness as a husband is I like to be right too much. And Dr. Phil tells us, guys, what does he say? Who knows? Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? And that's the proper way to think about it, fellas, because in marriage, if we want to be happy, we can either be wrong or we can be quiet. But you don't know this when you get married. Here's how my wife taught me. Early in our marriage, I'd come home from the grocery store with the non-organic carrots. And she'd say, "Why'd you buy these? You know I like to eat organic." I'd say, "Because the organic ones are $2 more and we need to save money." And I was right. But thus would begin a conversation. And an hour later, I'd find myself thinking, "Would I pay $2 to get out of this argument right now?" Oh. Because carrots are good for your eyes, but if you buy the wrong ones, they're bad for your ears. Buy her whatever she wants, dude. That's how they teach you. But you don't know this. You don't know what you don't know before you get married. Before I got married, I never would have imagined that the biggest fight in our relationship 17 years later wouldn't be about money or fidelity. The biggest fight in our marriage is about the fact that my wife loads the dishwasher like an asshole. An inconsiderate asshole with no regard for physics or geometry or getting the dishes clean. She just throws everything in there, slams the door, and says a prayer. I saw it the other day. I was like, "Honey, everybody knows it goes big plate, little plate, little plate." But with you, it's like an Escher painting on peyote. There's no beginning, there's no end. It's like a dish here, a bowl there. Cutlery strewn across the top rack, as if that's okay. I was like, "How far away were you from the dishwasher when you threw that bowl in there?" Like, you were right next to it? Does symmetry mean nothing to you? You must suck at Tetris. My God. Please tell me that's not a cutting board on the bottom rack standing vertically, blocking the upper spray arm. Yes, the upper spray arm, the thing that spins around and gets the dishes clean. You would know if you gave a shit. And she's like, why does the dishwasher even matter? I'm like, oh, it is not about the dishwasher, sweetheart. It's about all the chaos on this godforsaken planet about which I am powerless to do anything. But in my home, in this appliance, I have the opportunity for the world to work the way I want it to work, once and for all. And when you throw those dishes in there, it's like a butterfly flapping its wings, causing hurricanes and political unrest halfway across the globe. You're doing dishes, I'm working off original sin here. Like, and you know when you run it when it's half full, you're doing exactly what ISIS wants. You know that, don't you? She just goes, maybe you should talk to somebody. But she doesn't, I care about order. She doesn't care about order. You know those flaps on the tops of cereal boxes? She doesn't have time for that shit. She just bores right through the side of the box. First time I saw it, I was like, we've got raccoons! What are we... She's like, no, I just wanted some Rice Krispies. I'm like, do you open that box with a screwdriver? Holy shit. I opened the refrigerator the other day. There's a 2-pound bag of organic carrots with a hole gnawed in the side of it. She was careful to avoid the inconvenient Ziploc technology that Mr. Whole Foods had put at the end of the bag. And I'm just sitting there going, like, it's more important to be happy than to be right. It's more important to be happy than to be right. But you just don't know what you don't know. You don't know. Before I got married, I never would have imagined that I would ever hear this phrase. I'm not going to have sex with you until you clip your toenails. I never imagined I would ever hear that phrase. But I said it. And I meant it. I was very clear with her. I was like, baby, you are a beautiful woman, okay? But you've got some talons down there right now. And I'm on blood thinners, you know, and if you cut me while my heart rate is elevated, I am going to bleed out all over these new sheets that we just got. You guys have been so much. Thank you so much for coming out. So great to see you. Thank you, Ali, for putting this on. Where's our man? Where's our man? There he is. Give it up for Ali Punjani. One more time for Paul Ollinger, everybody. Yeah!
All right, before everyone leaves, just a couple of things. Benjamin Temple, are you here? Oh, your credit card is with me. So find me, and I'll get it back to you. Second thing is just another thank you to the Vermont Pottery Barn. There's catering for the meet and greet right outside with the comics. We'll hang out, they'll hang out afterwards. And finally, oh yeah, and George and Jammer are your servers, and they're doing a fantastic job, so please tip them.
Also, we'd be so grateful if you'd fill out a little feedback survey at the door. And if you want to put your name and email address on it and drop it in the box, we'll have a raffle at the end of the film festival for some nice prizes from local businesses. So we appreciate your feedback on this event to help us plan future ones.
Give it up for Samantha. Give it up. And with that, y'all, thank you so much for coming. Drive safe and have a lovely, lovely night. Thank you.